What's up, everybody? We are back once again after a long hiatus, what feels like a long time, and is actually probably just a several weeks of Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast. It's myself, Zach, and my co-host Calvin here.
Yeah.
Just us today, gonna dive into where we've been, what we've been doing with our lives, time, etc., and get you guys caught up to speed as we open for Sir Henry's Haunted Trail 2023, our 10th season. Last we left off, where were we, Cal? We had just finished video shoots.
Yep.
And that was kind of just a big sigh, but we really didn't get to take a moment then because it was still hustle.
Crunch time.
Get all the other stuff done. And we had Tyler on the last episode, and he talked about his experience with haunt photography and some of the haunts he's seen and liked. And then also talked about our upcoming events and everything. We've done a lot since then, haven't we?
Yeah, it's hard to remember just all what we've done until like someone that hasn't been like on the property in like 2 months is like, oh my gosh, what have you done?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been busy, nose to the grindstone for sure.
Yeah, and even like just in a week, the amount of work that's gotten done the past couple weeks in just a few days to transform the event is wild to see. So let's kind of do a recap of everything going on this year, what we've got to offer, and what guests can expect and what you can expect, and we'll dive into behind the scenes of it all. So Trail 1 is our Moonlight Massacre.
Last year was headless.
Yes, that is right. That is our werewolf trail. Point blank, that's our werewolf trail.
You know what that is.
That is, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a pretty intense trail, pretty scary trail for our guests and our fans. And the biggest thing that happened on this trail was we got a brand new facade, entry and exit point.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, you spent a lot of time making the finale the way it is today that the guests will experience.
Yes.
It's very maze-like. Talk about that.
So traditionally, if you've been on that trail in the past like 2 or 3 years, it was kind of a barn of sorts, but it was pretty much just like a straight hallway, and we never really knew what to do with it. So we built this pretty big room, I would say. And
the room is actually smaller in certain ways than the other thing that was
the hallway.
there. Yeah, which is crazy.
So we took it and kind of broke it up into like 4 smaller rooms, almost is the way to describe it. So just took a square and made smaller rooms within it. And I think you spend like 30 seconds in this room alone.
Yeah, 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is a good amount of time for one scene.
Yeah, one scene. And I spent a lot of time in there making sure you were as uncomfortable as possible in that scene. Have some special effects, some gross textures and stuff on the wall. Is kind of the first time I've played around with scenic art. And I think I did pretty well. It's pretty gross in there.
Pretty good. About 6 out of 10 for me. Not too bad. It's probably more like a 7.8.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Right
it's
above
not bad.
passing.
Well, yeah, and then you went back in there and added a little bit more, I think.
I just fluffed it up a little.
Just a little
big
bit.
Deal.
But it's cool. We're still trying to figure out. Well, I wouldn't say still, but it took a second to kind of figure out the functionality of the actors in the room.
Functionality of the maze, yes.
Yes, exactly. But I think we got it. I think the guests have been enjoying it so far. I think it's probably one of our stronger finales we've done in the past couple of years. Yeah,
a lot because you can't see ahead of you.
Yeah.
The line of sight is extremely reduced.
Yeah.
And visibility is impaired, so to speak, in this finale. So I think that really amps up the scare factor in it.
What I wanted from the room is, 1, for it to be maze-like, and 2, also being like, I know I'm in a big room, but I'm kind of locked into these sections.
Small.
Yeah, and it makes you feel a lot smaller. And with the actor that's in there, you kind of get a glimpse of them at the beginning, so the entire almost, over half a minute that you're in there, you're in there with someone else.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like that little game of cat and the mouse, and you know that you're the victim.
Yeah, it's like Pac-Man.
Yeah. So I think it's cool. I spent a lot of time in there, and by a lot of time it was.
And it's not just the actor in there. We got some effects too.
Yeah, I got some special
animatronic
effects
in there. A little toy for the scare actor in there as well. So it's I feel really good about it. I think it's a great finale.
I was gonna do more. Like there was one particular special effect I wanted to add in there too, but with time and also like I can't do everything in just this one scene. Like I got to spread it all out. I was gonna put the air blaster in there. But you got to spread the love. You got to make sure all the other
spread the love.
Yeah, everyone else gets the same amount of stuff because that trail has double the animatronics as every other trail, which is a correct statistic. Which is kind of crazy.
A statistic. Join us next episode as we learn to pronounce English words.
Hooked on phonics.
No, it's a great finale, and then we also redid the front. That whole scene. It's just a whole big scene now. It looks very rural, farmhouse, barn. So that's cool.
Got a nice fancy schmancy light and gobo on there.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really good.
Shout out. It's my one legal shout out of the show. Shout out our boy Elijah for helping with that. But yeah, it's a really cool set piece. Interestingly enough,
here we go.
I took the inspiration from both of these set pieces on a little Pinterest thing I found, which was
yeah, that's right.
Basically a Halloween like village town thing like you would buy at Michael's or something. But this was actually there's several of our new structures that came from that little Pinterest board of Halloween village houses.
Wherever it comes, wherever you can get inspiration from is
great for
is
that
worth
stuff.
it. But yeah, like so the new front scene, it's more or less the same footprint it was, kind of maybe a little bit bigger.
I think it's smaller, but I think it feels bigger.
Yeah, maybe, but it actually feels like you're going into this house, and that's like kind of where I felt like it was disjointed before, where it was like kind of like that old rustic building, but then you kind of just walked into like a bar or whatever.
Yeah, it was a very old building, old set piece. It just needed to be come down. It served its purpose. It lived its time. But out there for everything.
I definitely think it's more purposeful what's inside the actual facade that you're going to.
And then they of course, can also enjoy all the cool sets we built last year for Headless. That town square returns once again in all of its glory. Some very cool lighting. Love that. Of course, we got the church and the watermill and all those great scenes too. So there's still a lot going on this trail. You jump over the trail to the Haunted Mansion Trail, Tales of the Dead. This is our Sir Henry Icon Trail.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's funny because
you never had a trail to yourself.
Early years, whatever.
Well, yeah.
But like the past 6-7 years, I haven't done just a Sir Henry Trail, so to speak. But people, have been clamoring for it. And being the 10th season, you just had to do one. We had to do it this year, even though I had some other ideas for stuff in mind.
That are definitely still on the table.
Oh, absolutely. But so we came up with a concept. We liked it, and it works. And I know it's going to be cool for all of our fans to see, all of you guys to see, because it's so surreal to us watching other scare actors, play characters that we've played or we've seen other people play for years, and now it's kind of the reins are being passed on to this new age of scare actors who are carrying our mantle for
There
us.
was a lot of moments during like dress rehearsals and stuff where you had to like double take because it wasn't the same like actors before.
Yeah, so just to tease, we got Poppy, Vex, Mr. Peebles, even got Sir Henry, all in this trail, all played by different people. And so that it's just crazy to see that. It's like you said, you did do a double take.
Well, and it also helps that these actors are doing incredibly.
Oh,
to to emulate what the original actor was doing before.
And most times, and I think you saw a great example last year when Grant played the captain.
Yes.
And
that was like a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and he didn't even have we didn't really spend any time like with Grant and Clay going over their movements and their body language. Grant just kind of picked it up and rocked with it and went from there. It was pretty seamless. So that was cool. And we're seeing a lot of that this year too with Vex and Poppy.
But yeah, especially the Poppies.
The Peebles one really got me though.
That was
I looked I was walking pre-show and saw Mr. Peebles in makeup, and I'm like, what's Josh doing here?
Yeah.
Wait, that's not Josh?
Yeah.
So it's cool to see all that. So I think you guys are going to love Tales of the Dead. There's we did some outside work to the facade, put a porch on, and the whole new lighting.
It looks so good.
It's pretty stunning.
It's probably the best, in my opinion, that mansion facade has ever looked.
It's very atmospheric. It has a mood.
And it was nothing major.
It really wasn't.
We didn't have to rebuild a whole entire facade. We just add a little here, move a little here, and it just amazing.
It pops now.
Yeah.
So a lot to see there. There's a lot of excitement for that trail. Got a couple surprises in there too. Not going to give those away.
Yep.
And then Trail 3, Wicked Waters. Biggest thing we did on this trail was we expanded the path and reversed the path as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually as long, if not a little longer, than Moonlight Massacre.
Yeah, when I was adding
close.
The addition, you kept saying like, oh, don't go too long with it, don't go too long with it. And I was like, no, it's fine. And then when the first time we like walked through with actors, I was like, oh my gosh, this trail is so long. And then now, like after seeing like the media night videos and stuff, you're right. It's probably about the same amount of time that it takes you to get through Headless.
Yeah, it's long. But it's also nice that it is long because now there's brand new scare spots that actors and guests have never seen. There's new spots for actors to pop out of, more creative spots. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And that was without a whole lot of overhaul to this trail.
Yeah, no, it was super easy.
So yeah, the characters and the character design.
This guy
is pretty cool on this trail. Just because, like, yes, it's kind of like Swamp Witch. Voodoo's a loose word. I don't know if I'd use that word or not. But
yeah, it's not like the Louisiana Bayou type thing.
No, but you could get that vibe.
Yeah.
But the characters are really cool. It's kind of unlike anything we've done before on this trail.
I like
different, unique. Yeah, I told somebody on dress rehearsal. Well, you were there with me. When we walked through on dress rehearsal, Wicked Waters had this epic run. I don't know what happened to him, but it was epic. And it quite possibly was one of the best things I've ever seen out here ever at this event, period. It was that good. So we'll see how that holds up throughout the season, though, of course.
It's like when you see it as much as we do, it's kind of hard to like get excited again for it.
We get numb to it very easily.
But there's been 2 times where I have been like amped up from an attraction that we've made, and that was Headless last year during dress rehearsals, and it was Wicked Waters this year. Not counting the hayride, obviously, but it was magic. It was so good.
It was really good. Yeah, when a 12-year-old girl kicks in a door so hard that breaks it, that was intense.
Yeah, that was shout out again to whoever that girl was because I wasn't sure. But yeah, that little girl kicked that door open harder than most dudes I've seen do it. It was so good.
Even do that. But speaking of hayride, we did finish it, right?
It has been finished.
The hayride has been finished. We had our media night a couple weeks ago. Just had our opening weekend. So the hayride, it's done.
Something light, something just a little hayride.
It's all right. It's
a
little thing. It's a little trail. No, it's it's unlike, I think we've touched a little bit about this on the podcast, but it's unlike anything we've ever done before. It's extremely theatrical, very showy, and it has this like motion or movement of, I don't know. It's not I wouldn't say musical, because they're not, Beatrice doesn't come out there and start,
Yeah.
Singing or,
this
doing a rap
together.
like that Sir Henry guy, whatever. But it does flow in a very specific way.
I feel the word you're looking for is rhythm. There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I use that more in the trails, but it is cool. What's been your favorite part so far about this hayride?
Seeing it, because jumping back to what I literally just said, is that it's like we become numb to things that we see so often out here. So during video shoots, we had our first trailer go through, and with guests on it, and that lit me up. That was
a cool experience.
Yeah, that was pre-props. I don't even think we had audio.
That was pre-everything.
Yeah, that was just sets and lights, and it lit me up. That was the coolest thing I ever experienced. And then with the dress rehearsals, we had our friends and families going through there, and that was seeing real people's real reactions to what you've spent, what feels like a lifetime creating, is just so rewarding. It's so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I was reminded the other day that this hayride started on a literal napkin at my sister's place last year when we went to see Field of Screams and Bates Motel. Now you guys can go back and watch that little podcast insert and see what all that was about with us being there, now that we have a haunted hayride. So it's pretty awesome to see basically how far we've come in just a year.
Yeah.
In 8 months of building and crafting. You did all the animatronics, Calvin. How many are there on this hayride?
4, 8, 10.
We'll just say upwards of 20.
Yeah.
Upwards of 20 animatronics and
Trying to
special
count.
effects on this hayride. It's really cool. It's different. It's a totally different experience than anything you're going to see in a trail. And the sets are larger too, larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
I love the pumpkin woods. That was probably one of the coolest things for me to see come to life, is that we were able to carve a 20-foot pumpkin, so to speak, and make this huge facade of this jack-o'-lantern that you drive through, unlike anything else around, or frankly I've ever seen, because I was looking for references and found nothing. So to bring that to life from chicken wire, and a couple posts, was really cool and special. And then I know you had a big part of setting all the jack-o'-lanterns up.
So
those scenes.
That scene, like the first time we came out here with the lights on and we flicked all those pumpkins on and stuff, that was probably like the coolest moment I've had with that all season, because that whole scene was essentially like I just was in there for like 2 weeks and just did it. Now, it wasn't 2 weeks, but it was a long time. It was a long time.
It was a while.
And it was just me and podcasts. Actually, Spotify told me I listened to over 400 episodes of podcasts this year.
My God.
Pumpkin Woods was probably 90% of those. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I said this in a video, because I'm jumping back to napkin thing. I said it in a video where it was like, it was hard to believe that we were actually going to do it. So like when we were in Pennsylvania and stuff, I feel like that was, and we were drawing on that napkin at whatever restaurant, I feel like that was like the moment where I was like, oh crap, are we actually going to do this?
Yeah.
Like, are we committing to this? Yeah. And then when we broke ground after Valentine's Day, I was like, oh yeah, all right, now it's game time.
Really, I mean, it's been a daunting task to not only take on adding a new attraction, but also doing what we've done on this new attraction, as well as everything else, and getting it done in time.
Yeah.
But somehow we managed to get done early. I don't know how that happened, but I'll take it for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, work hard to wait.
So that was nice. But yeah, this hayride is something else. Definitely make sure you make plans to come out and see the whole event this year, especially the hayride. You can get those tickets online. We have 3 different types of tickets. A general admission, which gets you into all 3 haunted trails. We have all access, which gets you into all 3 haunted trails plus the hayride. And then the VIP, which gets you into all 4 attractions, front of the line one time, and then you can go through all 3 haunted trails unlimited number of times in the general admission. Just can't do the hayride unlimited because it is a capacity thing.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, and there's like this whole pre-show to getting on the wagon.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot has gone into, like...
a lot of thought.
Not even just, like, building this stuff, but the amount of times where we've had just conversations about how it was going to work.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of thought. This whole pre-show is something similar to, I think, and what I've compared it to, the Haunted Mansion room that stretches. It's very similar to that. You'll go into Sir Henry's mausoleum, segregated by tractor size and number to get on the tractor that you'll embark on. And you hear Beatrice and Sir Henry a lot in the beginning, but then you hear from each of the characters in the scenes. And so that's really cool. I'm really impressed with how well you've managed and trained the kids with Keegan's help.
Big thanks to Keegan. If you're listening to this, Keegan, thank you.
For the theatrical nature of it all and how flawless that is. I mean, you got 2 staples in your beginning and finale with Dakota and Skylar, and they just rock that.
Yeah.
They become those characters.
Yeah, and I've heard a few adjectives being thrown around similar to another large attractions in the Central Florida area, maybe with some mouse ears.
I thought we was the only large attraction in Central Florida.
Yeah, but I will say if you do come out to the event and you want to do the hayride, I would more than likely, I would do it first.
If you're going to come out to the event, do the hayride first. Maybe do a trail while it's still getting a little dark if you're coming at 7:30, 8 o'clock. But make sure you do the hayride first because we are closing our queue lines this year at 10:30.
Yep.
And we've adjusted our time slots in according to that. But yeah, you'll have time to do it all. Just make sure you do it. Don't hang out in the common area for 3 hours and then decide to do a trail or whatever.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
But a lot of people are going to want to do the hayride last, save the best for last type of mentality. Beat that rush and just do it first. Get it out of the way, and then
the hayride's going to be very busy all season long.
It's the largest queue line we've ever made.
And don't think that, it's a long line now, I'll just come back. No, it's probably going to be a long line all night, unless you got VIP, of course. But just go ahead and do it too. Knock it out. Enjoy the other stuff. But yeah.
The line obviously will be worth it. It's about a 15-minute ride.
Yeah, it's a 15-minute hayride.
It's long. So
a lot of content. A lot of content in there.
A lot of stuff to look at. Everything along that line.
But yeah, no, it's been a whirlwind getting all this done and getting this built and ready for you guys, our fans, to show off for our 10th season. We've got a common area show with Beatrice. And I say show, it's more of a introduction welcome to the witching season.
An exposition.
Yeah. And then we also are doing an opening ceremony for the first time ever this year.
I've only been pushing for it for
Calvin's been
4 years.
Pushing for it before he even was out here. Metamorphosis or what have you. And the only reason I decided to do an opening ceremony is because I got a vision came to me.
In the shower.
Probably.
Raven Baxter.
So that's a throwback. So the entrance, the opening ceremony is very cool, very, very Sir Henry, but also, I think it moves you. I think it's a moving ceremony, not like sad or emotional, but it's hype. It's hype.
So when you first were I want to do an open ceremony, now I got this idea, but it's kind of artsy.
Yeah, I said artsy,
and I was like, oh no, okay, whatever. And then a couple months later, you send me the audio for it, and I'm just at my house listening to it on my headphones, and I got immediate goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'll give this man his one compliment for the year. His audio that he has done across the board has been phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know what got into you this year, but it's great.
I had the vision.
This guy's Pharrell Williams in this on his laptop. So but the audio track is stellar, and then what happens within that audio, around you.
Oh yeah, no, it's
phenomenal.
The whole show. And to be fair, we had you and our common area characters come out in this opening ceremony to mess with the crowd. Common area characters kind of have some experience because they're in the common area of working a crowd. But literally the night before we did this opening ceremony, I told 3 of these actresses, that they were going to come out with the opening ceremony and just do your thing. I gave them no direction other than, oh, hey, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we're doing this tomorrow.
Yeah. And they absolutely killed it. You go watch the TikToks, the Instagram videos, the YouTube, all that stuff of our opening ceremony for Media Night. And these guys look like professionals. Frankly, it's a lot better than some of the stuff I've seen this season.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? I thought so too.
But as much as we talk about the hayride and as much time we spend on the hayride, it's not the only thing we've done. Like we mentioned that we redid, the front and end of Trail 1. Yeah. We've made significant improvements to the common area.
Oh yeah, we the common area is bigger.
Absolutely.
Bigger now than ever before. We've created more square footage space for you to hang out and just get your selfie taken with all these characters.
And we still did 2 escape rooms.
Still have 2 escape rooms. We have Axoring. We have a midway game now, Skull Toss.
We added 2 shows.
Essentially,
one in the center, one in the front.
Brand new entry arch.
Oh, yeah. How have we not mentioned this?
That you can walk on top of.
Yeah.
That you go through turnstiles.
Oh, yeah.
Total experience.
It's a holiday.
It is. So
that was a turnstile.
That's the first thing you see when you come into this year, and you know that, oh yeah, it's for real this year.
Probably my favorite relatively small improvement we've made is the logo that is casted.
Oh yeah. So there is a specialty light called a Source 4. And with a Source 4, you can put what they call a gobo in there. And a gobo is basically
a go-between.
So it goes between the light and what the light is projecting. So you know how you do a shadow puppet or whatever. That's kind of what a gobo is doing, except you can color it and you can get it super high detailed depending on the material. And so, as they say in Jurassic Park, spare no expense. We pulled the trigger and got this gobo set up and have it projected right when you walk in, right past the main gate. And it's incredible.
It's so cool. Because, I think it's better than any sign we could have made or had made. It's so simple, but it's so nice. It just feels good. It feels like Halloween. Yep. And it's so it's all on the ground. It's a light. It's not a projection. So you can stand on it, and you're not going to throw a shadow or anything like that. So there's people we've already seen having videos of people dancing in the light or laying on the light and taking pictures of the logo. You can become part of the logo. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's just another atmospheric thing that we have in the common area now.
It's so good.
To add to it. And, of course, the swag shop and booze.
300% increase.
Last year this year's probably about 127% increase in merchandise.
0.4 repeating, of course.
Of course. And then we've got Smitty's Buttermilk Corn Dogs, best corn dogs you'll get. Pelican Snowballs. And Sir Henry Spooky Eats. Where this year you can actually get a grilled cheese or a pulled pork grilled cheese.
I have yet to have one, but every time I go in there pre-show, it smells like heaven. It smells so good in there.
It does smell pretty good in there. So we've been busy. We've been a lot, but we are back on track now, and we are here to update you guys with all the fun stuff of Sir Henry. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. Calvin, any last thoughts?
Well, I was gonna say, we're telling you all of this just so you guys know how much we have done just for the 10th, not just for the 10th season, but for our 10th season.
It's really just been literally a handful of people.
Yeah.
You know, myself, Calvin, Chris, who has done a lot of work for us.
Love that guy.
And Mark and Carlos, who are the backbone of our operations. Grounds management, so to speak. But this team of 5 people is really what put the build effort into everything and got it ready. Of course, it takes an entire team of many people to pull off this event to the experience that you guys know and come to expect from us. But yeah, it's been a labor of love this year. I think both Calvin and I can say that for ourselves. And we're excited for you guys to see it and experience it and all of its glory. And as we continue to grow, because we met our goals for 10 seasons and have built a haunted hayride, give me about a month and I'll start to think of how terrible everything is. It's not good enough and everything has to be redone.
There's still more space back there.
And that's the one thing people say is like, oh, we didn't even know you had this much space. We thought you were going to take away a trail. No. I had to take away laser tag, but
there's still the same amount of activities, just laser tag's not there.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. This is going to be a fun year, fun season, fun event. So make sure you get your tickets online now, SirHenry'sHauntedTrail.com. Make sure you're following this podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can listen on any major streaming platform to this podcast. And when we are on it, we are releasing them every Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the morning. So
Hashtag greatest show on mulch.
Yeah, Calvin's been saying that hashtag greatest show on mulch because we do have a lot of mulch in a common area. Shout out to his neighbor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a great fun season. Lots of surprises, lots of cool things going on. Probably be doing some giveaways and promos. And we're going to try to go see some other haunts and shows this year.
Oh yeah.
We'll see where the journey takes
There'll
us.
be some vlogs on that.
Yeah. You mean video blogs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Precisely.
Okay, whatever. So, for now, it is time to say goodbye, spooky friends, and we will see you next episode.
Sayonara.